Mother's Day is right around the corner. Get great deals by visiting proflowers.com. Click on the blue microphone in the top right corner and type in our code, Jack and Andrew. Order today.
Now it's our code. Just really moving right in.
I'm just reading the script, all right?
Mm-hmm. Jack, Andrew, and Lump.
Mm-hmm.
Don't do that code, though. You might not get anything because apparently
You don't count.
I don't count. No.
Welcome back to the show. I'm
Lump lives
Adam.
matter.
I'm Jack Tomzak. That is Andrew Lee, and that is Lump. Still in studio, third wheeling for the last hour of the show is comedian Tim Slagle. Morning again,
Hey.
Tim.
Hey, good to still be here.
In town for Acme Comedy Company's Crash and Burn. Go to acmecomedycompany.com. Shows are at 8 and 10:30 tonight and tomorrow. Be sure to get out and do that. If you're not part of the Acme Comedy Company cult, join.
Yeah,
it's
it's
a
great.
fun thing to make part of your life and do once in a while. It's a hoot.
It's a wonderful club. We sing the praises of it all the time on this show. I'm a huge fan, and always have a good time when I go. And
Yeah, you can become an Acme insider, and then get the lowdown on when the good shows are coming to town, and when the best shows and
It's
free passes
insider,
and-
not cult.
Yeah, insider.
Would have gone with cult. And if you'd like to see how good I look today, go to essentialmediaservices.com/Upand for the live video stream. In studio now from the City Pages is big-time reporter Ben Johnson. Hey, Ben.
Hey, good to be back, Jack. How was the vacation?
It was stressful, but even now, less than a week after, I'm looking through the pictures taken on my trip to Florida with my family, my parents, my kids, my spouse, and my in-laws.
wow.
I'm looking back at the pictures now and thinking, that was fun. So the bad parts are wearing off.
That would have been
wasn't a
fun. That would have been
horrible
fun. That would have been fun.
Oh, look,
that would have been.
looks like somebody had a great time on their vacation.
Think of how much more fun this could have been.
But, as a parent, that's what you do. You have to go out and do things for the benefit of your kid, though they may not be fun for you. They will create memories or blah, blah, blah for your small people.
How old is your small person?
I've got a 3.5-year-old Hug Nugget. She's the girl. And then a 9-month-old Indiana, who is not a girl.
Do you really think you're creating memories? They're not going to remember anything.
No, I'm thinking we took advantage of my wife having to be down there for a conference.
Okay.
That's what we did.
More accurate.
Yeah.
I gotta.
Can't imagine the 9-month-old. Hey, remember back when I was an infant and I went to Disney?
Did you go to Disney? Mm-hmm. Oh, okay.
It was great. It was not a small world. It was a large world packed with people and heat.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah.
I had my
Floridian.
my first t-ball practice of the year. I'm coaching t-ball at the park across the street.
Do you have children, Ben?
I do not.
So you're just coaching T-ball, huh?
I passed every background check.
What about the background check in your own heart? Everybody has a first offense, Ben.
They needed a coach desperately. I stepped up as a member of this community, Jack.
Are you a baseball player?
Yeah. Well, softball now.
Okay.
But anyway, 18 5-year-olds. I'm the only coach.
Oh, wow. Are you insane?
I have never.
Could you
After that first
exchange that for 5 18-year-olds?
Just bring them down to wherever they keep the 18-year-olds.
Yeah.
How many practices have you had?
The first one was on Wednesday. And,
What are you thinking?
I got done with it and was like, what am I doing here?
I was a volunteer Boy Scout leader for 3 years and before I had kids, and I was dealing with 12, 13, 14-year-olds that I didn't have kids at the time, was not used to how they are, and it was an awful experience. And 5 would be way worse.
It's a lot of eyes up here. Eyes up here. Everybody stand up. Stay standing. Don't play in the dirt.
At what point are you going to get to actual learning how to play baseball? Because a lot of it's just
maybe
getting them
never. We just went around
listen.
it's like here's first base, here's second base.
Mm-hmm.
Let's run in the right direction and let's not hit anybody in the head with a bat. That's kind of that's what we covered on practice number 1.
Yeah. Here's the order. I remember T-ball. I remember I took my son to T-ball practice, and that's what it was. It was like you go in this direction. First you go here, then you stop. Then you go here, then you stop.
Yeah.
And it's
I've often
pretty
talked
basic
about,
stuff.
My athletic prowess as an 0-9 high school quarterback. That started with T-ball, where you couldn't strike out, and I would repeatedly hit a foot below the ball on the tee, pick it up. Oh, my poor embarrassed parents. All right, if you'd like to follow Ben on Twitter, follow him at JohnsonBen. Do you want to make sure I get that out
Yeah, thank you, Jake.
before we get going?
Hey, Lump, why aren't you following me on Twitter?
Hey, yeah, lump.
I had
It's not even in there. You're stealing already.
well, I had to harass Dylan into follow me on Twitter. It took a couple weeks, so now I figured I'd start working on Lump.
You'll get her because at least Lump is responsible and well mannered.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
definitely a big upgrade.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
Now that Dylan's not here, we can rag on him. Right?
Because we were so nice.
The
to
roast still hasn't ended.
Yeah.
It's an ongoing thing.
Right.
All right, Ben. What have you got from the City Pages blotter blog this week?
Well,
Or do last week's because I was gone, so I didn't know it. I didn't hear any of that.
Minnesota singles love to brag about their cabins. Match.com.
You got to have something, I guess.
Match.com analyzed thousands of their profiles, looking for keywords that stood out disproportionately, state by state. And it put together kind of a cool little map that you could look at of all the different keywords that stand out in different states. And I guess not a huge surprise, Minnesota singles love to brag about their cabins. But what's really funny is every state, it was just so stereotypical. Like, for instance, in Alabama and Georgia, the keywords were grilling. In Mississippi, it was looking. Oil. In Texas, Oklahoma, and North Dakota, zoo for some reason. In Missouri. So it was kind of a fascinating map, but that's kind of the buzzword for Minnesota singles.
So people are trying to attract a mate through Match.com by bragging about the fact that they or their parents have a cabin or access to one.
Yeah, it's solid plan, I think. I don't know.
If you accurately described a cabin while courting somebody, trying to get somebody's attention, I don't think it would work as well. Hey, baby, you want to come to the potentially dilapidated shack, isolated deep in the woods with somebody you met online? How does that gonna? Hey, you want to go someplace without cell service? No hospital or police for miles? Huh?
Well, I think the idea though is somebody that insensitive to how another person is reading them is going to be on Match.com because actually in civilization doesn't get anything.
Right. Ben, let's do a little role playing. Ask me if I want to go to your cabin.
Hey, Jack, you want to go to my cabin?
No. Never, ever, ever. I want to go someplace with a stranger that I don't know the way back from.
That smells of mildew and whiskey.
And everybody knows what owning a cabin is like. You get up there, you spend the entire time maintaining the cabin, and then you leave. Hey, You want to come up and scrape some paint and mow a lawn with me?
No, I'm relatively new to Minnesota. I've only lived here a few years, but is my assumption correct that after you've lived here a certain amount of time, the state just sort of gives you a cabin?
It's part of the legacy funding thing.
Yeah, because everybody's got a cabin.
Yeah, it's actually part of Dayton's cabin.
So when do I get my cabin? How long do I have to be here?
Years.
It depends on how much taxes you're paying in.
Yeah.
Okay.
The less taxes you're paying, the more
The sooner
likely-
you get the cabin. It's a cabin subsidy program.
Yeah,
It seems to me that you got to actually have roots in here for a generation before you get the cabin. Once you're not going to get one.
So my
Yeah,
son's,
I didn't-
your son's
my son
going to
might
get a cabin.
one.
Yeah.
I didn't get a cabin. It's always better to know somebody with a cabin because then they maintain it.
Well, it's like when I lived in Florida. It's always better to know somebody with a boat than to actually have the boat yourself.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's good to have friends with boats, but you never want to own the boat.
How many dates do you have to go on before you invite somebody to your cabin? That's like a 5 dates.
Are you asking for a friend?
There's somebody you met at T-ball.
I got to update.
I'm not sure the permission slip covers that one, Ben.
Team field trip.
Get in the van.
I'm updating my Tinder profile as we speak. T-ball coach, cabin enthusiast. All good things.
Zip tie collector.
Passer of background checks.
Put that first.
Yeah.
Just set the
Lead with that.
stage.
Yeah. All right.
I don't know how many dates. How many dates is it before you are appropriate? I'd say many.
Yeah, the cabin, that's like
Many.
That's like right up there with like meeting family members.
Well, if you're on Match.com, I guess I don't know the demographics there, but is it your cabin or is it your parents' cabin? And does inviting somebody to the cabin involve inviting them to the cabin while your parents are there? Is it not the same thing as come meet my parents?
it could be kind of a combo platter thing.
Big commitment.
Come meet my
for an
parents and you
online
can't
dater.
leave. No, honestly though, if you think about it, it's probably like everybody puts it in their like hobbies section. You
Sure.
know? It's like I enjoy, weekends at the cabin. I'm very contemplative and outdoorsy like that.
I
don't
read
know.
books while looking at the woods.
Weekends at the cabin, scrubbing the floor with bleach.
Awesome.
And packing up the duct tape, used duct tape into trash bags to drive to the next town.
Not sure. You can go a lot of places with that. A lot of places. Are you on Match.com, Ben?
No, I'm not.
Do you own a cabin?
No, I do not.
You'd be single
no
forever.
family cabin.
I know. I'm hoping this Tebow angle helps me out.
People trust me around their kids.
Hoping to parlay this T-ball into a cabin.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. But I don't know. I mean, I could probably add that to the Tinder profile. I think because you can.
So you're on Tinder. You're not on Match.com, but you are on Tinder.
Oh yeah,
Did you
everybody's on Tinder.
Okay.
It's free and it's easy.
Is there a Tinder
Like
for
the
cabins?
people on Tinder.
Here's the app idea. Tinder for cabins. You swipe right or left. You just a picture of the cabin. All right. Just here's my cabin. Let me
jet
know
ski.
if you'd like to go.
Yeah.
You don't know who I am, but you got a nice looking cabin.
Yeah.
You might be onto something, Andrew.
I like it.
All right, Ben, what else have we got? We got a quick one before the break?
Yeah, real quick. We've spoken about this a couple of times before, but Minneapolis may finally have competition in the cable TV market. And ironically, it comes as everybody's cutting the cord and moving to other stuff anyway. But for the since the cable lines were laid in the early 1980s, Minneapolis has only ever had one cable company. It's changed its name like 5 or 6 times. Right now it's Comcast, Charter, Xfinity, whatever you want to call it. But CenturyLink was just approved in City Council committee, and later today it's expected to get full City Council approval. So pretty soon, within a couple months, CenturyLink will be expanding into 15% of the city.
Wow.
And hopefully more after that.
They're also laying a second telegraph line.
15%. Now, what was the controversy last time we talked
It
about
was
this?
30% last time.
Okay.
And they actually lowered it, but they met with city staff and showed them maps privately. They won't show them publicly because they say that's a trade secret.
Okay.
But city staff and city council members were satisfied that they are expanding into every ward. So every, basically every neighborhood in Minneapolis, at least some part of it, will have an opportunity to go through someone else besides Comcast, which I think is a good thing. I mean, finally some competition.
Yeah, I think so too.
It's it's a reality.
The more competition, the better. Absolutely.
Yeah.
The more choices that you have as a consumer, the better your options are going to be.
So anyway, yeah, CenturyLink Prism is what their service is called, and man, anything but Comcast. I've had some issues with Comcast, and
Is it just going to be like coax cable, or are they doing like fiber optic, or
yeah, that's a separate thing. They actually are doing like 1 gigabit fiber optic internet, but that's separate from the TV. Those are
Right.
two different like approval processes. So this was just for the TV. So now, like I said, right as everybody starts cutting the cord, we finally get some competition in the cable market. But
I've had every combination of companies over the places I've lived in terms of TV and internet service. You're going to have issues with all of them. And then none of them are. I haven't seen any of them be significantly or tangibly better or worse than the others. They've all got their problems. They've all got some shortcomings. Customer service is always kind of a pain with them. It's just the nature of the way they do business, and the fact that even when you have competition, it's very limited competition, and they know that. So there is no real drive to be like, we're going to be the best cable company.
Yeah, and I don't have cable. I spend all of my time listening to AM radio. Because it's coming back.
That's right.
That's right. All right, let's take a quick break. Tim Slagle is third wheeling. Ben Johnson from the City Pages. When we return, which NFL fans are the least gooder at talking?
This is Up and Adam
The show is surprisingly okay.
on Twin Cities News Talk, AM 11.